We, the members of UNI and its international affiliates, supported by COSATU alliance partners, the broader labor movement and other progressive civil society formations, are gathered here today to demonstrate against the company's refusal to meet the reasonable demands of members, as well as unacceptable acts of unilateralism and union bashing. We have observed that the company has adopted a stance to retaliate to what is essentially an act of workers exercising their rights in pursuance of a wage dispute within the ambit of the provision of the Labour Relations Act. We note with deep concern, instead of focusing efforts on resolving the current impasse involving maintaining the spirit of the signed agreement, the company has embarked upon a program of mass suspension, initially of key shop stewards and then members. This stance is counterproductive and will not in any way assist to break the impasse, and will only serve to harden attitudes. Having long warned of the dangers of Walmartization, the union and its affiliate in the continent observes the current behavior of the company being manifestation of the same, and the unleashing of the ruthless programs to eradicate the union, thereby achieve a trade union-free workplace, as is the principle embraced by the company. Our further warnings were that the approval of the transaction between Walmart and Massmart was going to undermine the efforts of fighting poverty, unemployment and inequality, not to mention the devastating impact on workers, not only in the retail sector but across all economically vibrant industries, are beginning to become a reality. If current attacks on collective bargaining and workers include manipulation of some members of the SAPC into unleashing brutal attacks on unarmed and peacefully demonstrating workers, anything to go by, then it is a very sad day. South Africa achieved a democratic breakthrough in 1994. However, it mainly benefited capital at the expense of workers and the working class. Economically and socially, the legacy of apartheid, racist and exploitative practices endures, and our country remains one of the most unequal societies in the world, and has high levels of unemployment and poverty. To address the socio-economic challenges facing South Africa and the plight of the working class and the poor, the state must play a critical role in ensuring economic development to advance a radical socio-economic transformation, which, amongst other things, must prioritize addressing inequality, poverty, unemployment, redistribution of wealth, control of ownership of the economy by the people as a whole, as articulated in the Freedom Charter. Currently, the real unemployment rate is 45%, which close to 11 million people struggling to get jobs and over 17 million people on welfare. Both the public and private sector are unrelentingly in the dissemination of jobs. Uni Africa and its affiliates believes that the labor movement must develop ways of contesting retrenchment at an economy-wide level, because it is impossible to fight the retrenchment crisis effectively at a workplace. We also believe that economic, political and industrial restructuring is necessary to fight retrenchments effectively. Our campaign will be linked with demands for redistribution of wealth, state intervention and moratorium on all retrenchments. This message from workers is very simple. No to retrenchments, unfair dismissals, rather protect and create jobs for all. And it centers on the demand for an end to retrenchments in all sectors. We speak to employment creation and focus on strengthening collective bargaining, rural and township economies. Since the National Development Plan that was adopted in 2012 says its target to reduce unemployment rate to 14% by 2020 to 6% in 2030. However, it has increased by 37.7% unofficial employment rate. The University of Stellenbosch has revealed that in South Africa, about 5.7 million jobs will be at a risk because of digital automation. The fight against jobs means the workers must have a direct say in how the economy is managed and restructured. We understand the enormous responsibility that faces us because of the economic crisis and stagnation. Only profound economic policy change and the forging of new strategies for growth and development will resolve these issues. Now, these are our demands as Union Africa and all our affiliates. We demand that a shift towards a labor-absorbing growth plan, an increasing part of the labor force that is currently in the non-formal sectors must be drawn into productive activities so that an increasing part of the population can contribute to the creation of internal demand, saving and reinvestment. We need interventions that take place. The creation of decent jobs at the center of the economic policy instead of relegating them to trickle down. Simultaneously, as we protest here today, we protest against the economic crisis and job losses through our ruling mass action and also campaign and demanding on economic crisis, that in order to arrest the continued economic crisis, we demand the following policy interventions. Companies must be prohibited from retrenching employees for the sake of profits. Imposition of legally enforceable obligations and targets on the private sector to create jobs, eliminating poverty and income and asset inequality. Amendments to existing laws that shall restrict layoffs to insolvent companies. A company must not be allowed to retrench workers simply to make profits. Total ban of labor brokers. UNI maintains its position that labor broking is modern-day slavery.
Yebo!
One of the reasons to having the Department of Labor is precisely to link job seekers with prospective employers without a fee and violation of workers' labor rights. Considering that the regulation of labor brokers have failed, we therefore demand a total ban of labor broking, total scrap of outsourcing. To Massmart and in particular Macro, we note that the company has an intransigent posture which is demonstrated by the company's refusal to restate more than 600 dismissed after agreeing on ceasing their hostilities. Implementation of new conditions of employment or implementation of new conditions of employment unilaterally. Protection of sexual offenders who hold high positions. Unfair discrimination, union bashing. I will repeat the demands that we are putting forward. Company refusal to reinstate the dismissed who are more than 600 after agreeing to seize on your